Hello, sports fans. Sorry about that little flub earlier. I had forgotten that I absolutely need to stop the Bluetooth on my phone before I go live because otherwise it's going to use, I guess, this little microphone up here and it sounds absolutely awful. So thanks for your patience. Today's question is from Adam Stone, and Adam asks, let me remember. As a composer that works with synthesis, is it more important to master synthesis or to master live performance of an instrument? Adam, that's a really, really good question. Now, the two things do exist together. Just from my own perspective, I started by learning piano, taking piano lessons, singing in choirs. So keyboard plus some vocals is what I have more practice at. But then getting into synthesis started with ad-lib, went into trackers, did a lot of tracking, then slowly tiptoeing back more into synthesis, as you've seen with my first All Things Funky video, which covers synthesis and my relationship with synthesizers specifically. The reason that you go there is because you're thinking, hey, I really like the music that you've written. Thank you so much, Scorpy Hasashi. Wonder where these people are from. Tell me where you're from. Whether you're Adam Stone and you're asking, or you're Scorpy and you're making a comment. Thank you so much for all of your appreciation. So it's because you're really you're really interested in the stuff that I've done, and you're interested in my specific relationship with synthesis, and it inspires you. Berlin, awesome! I wouldn't have guessed Berlin from the last name, but you know what? You never know with online names, and you never know with how people get around the world. Somebody from Turkey, Gah! International. Wow, there's a lot of things going on in the world right now. And I am but a speck of dust in the midst of it. So, getting back to Adam's question, yes. So what is more important? Yes, the two things really can coexist, and I'm trying to make them coexist. So how does that work? Well, I practice guitar. I have a schedule where I'm supposed to practice guitar every morning for a half hour. I don't do that as religiously as I should. But there's also practicing piano, and there's some lessons that I'm interested in taking, as in that I want to play a little bit more like, right now my inspiration is Jordan Rudess, as well as Sam Tolbert. If you check out Sam Tolbert online, he does gospel playing, but people like that are not just limited to one particular style. They're really good at a lot of different things. Just as Jordan Rudess is good at jazz. Oh, Jim Godfrey is another really good example. Anyway, so live performance is important, and that is demonstrated in VGM cover bands. It's demonstrated in, it's really gratifying as well that people a lot younger than I am are practicing and getting really, really good at instrumentation. Amanda Lepre, hopefully I'm pronouncing that name right, I'm pretty sure that's right, who is plays with Descendants of Erdrich. I think she was one of the founding members of that band, is not just a good guitarist, she plays with the Andrew W.K. live band, and that is what I consider a unbelievably awesome success story. Now, back to synthesis. Synthesis, like the advancement of game audio, is something that requires more and more experimentation to find out what makes it unique. And it is a fun journey. Of course, it takes a little more effort. It's not quite as easy as just tweaking a few knobs and making a pluck sound that nobody's heard before and turning that into Axel F like good old Harold Faltermeyer, because he's one of the few people that could afford the more expensive synths of the 80s. Now, synths are open and available access. Just about anybody can get the basic synth sounds with just the push of a button, and it's super simple, right? So it takes a bit more of the effort. So mastering synthesis, or working on your synthetic sound quality and just the uniqueness of it, is super important, because that's what gets you to that, hey, people haven't really heard this before, and it is compelling in a certain way. The challenge I was talking about with video games, period, or any creative industry. The second, or the live aspect of this, works its way into that, because if you're able to perform well with a keyboard or guitar, then that also means that you have the ability to generate the kinds of sounds with virtuosity that will get you to that new and unique sound quality. So they work together. I can't say one is more important than the other. So that's all I've got for today. Keep those questions coming. Put them in the comments. Let me know where you're from. And thanks a lot, Adam.